everyone. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name's Kat. I also go by Raincoast Vegan. And I want to talk to you today about the 1 month pantry challenge. It's something that I've decided to do for the month of February, maybe longer. We'll see how it goes. And I'm hoping that a lot of you will join me in it. If you're Canadian, you might have noticed that recently the conversation has been a lot about groceries. And I don't just mean the cost. I know for the last few years we've been saying, excuse me, what's happening with the price of groceries? Why am I paying $200 for one bag of groceries at the store? That is a whole separate issue, although very real. But we've also now had a situation where people are now starting to ask what's made in Canada, because our largest trading partner with the US is deciding to put in tariffs, and people are saying, okay, what am I going to be able to eat? What's the cost of groceries going to be? Are we going to get into a trade war? So, and people sometimes think, you know what? Food isn't political. People who are bloggers or food bloggers, they just have fun and make their cute little cakes and it's all aesthetics. It's not. What I have to say is food is political. Where we grow our food, how we grow our food, the people we use to pick the food that we grow. Even things like having your own at-home garden has historically been a very political choice. The victory gardens that popped up throughout World War II, the idea of homesteading, people who are now going back off the grid. There's a lot of layered conversations that come into when we talk about food security. We also have to recognize that in addition to the grocery store prices and now incoming trade wars, Canada has a food security problem. We have had a really huge problem with food banks lately. Not that they're a problem, but people needing to use food banks because we're just in a cost of living crisis as well. So there's a lot of things going on. And on top of all of that, Canada also has a food waste problem. So we can't afford groceries. There's a lot of people that are using, charitable services and organizations to get basic needs because the cost of living is so high, but also on top of all of that, we're still wasting food. And I hate food waste more than just about anything, especially since I started gardening. This is like a very my own little world, but it takes so much work to grow that food. And the idea of wasting any of the things that I spent months growing it's just so sad to me. So all that being said, there is something that I want to try for the month of February, partially to keep my own costs down. If you've been following for a while, you know that I lost my job in October. So trying to figure out a way to eat cheaper is a good idea. Also, because it's the time of year that I sort of need to rotate my stores. So I am very, very fortunate. I will say that this whole challenge comes with, I need to recognize my privilege that I am fortunate. I have a full stocked pantry and freezer. I actually have an upstairs pantry and a downstairs pantry. And I realize that is not the same situation for a lot of people. That is my personal situation. But you do need to rotate that. You can't just put stuff in the pantry because, a lot of people, especially since 2020, have been buying whole grains, buying dried beans and thinking just in case of emergency, which is great, but they don't keep forever. For example, brown rice will only keep for 6 months in your cupboard because brown rice has the germs still on it and those oils start to go rancid. So you can't just keep that forever. If you've ever opened rice that has smelled weird, that's why it doesn't stay forever. So we do have to rotate those stocks. And before things get really bad, in case they do, I thought, okay, February is a good time to take on this challenge. I have posted the idea. I actually started thinking about this in January when I've been doing Veganuary. I had this idea. I put it out on my social media and I said, did anybody else want to do this? I'm thinking I might just see how long I can live off of the food that I already have. Is anybody else going to join me? And a ton of people responded. Some people who are already doing a no by January are coming in on this as well because they think it's a good idea. But other people who are just I always put meals away in my freezer. At some point I have to eat the freezer meals. And we're all sort of in that same boat. It's February, so it's not really in the time of year in this hemisphere where we have an abundant amount of fresh fruit and vegetables. It's not like summer barbecuing season. So it is definitely the time of year that you'd probably want to eat those freezer meals. So let me lay out for you what the challenge is, because I know I've spoken a little bit with these vague terms. If you follow my Substack newsletter, you will have seen it that I wrote about it already this month, what I'm planning to do. This is how I'm going to choose to challenge myself. Like I said before, my own circumstances might be different than your circumstances. So if you want to adapt it to something that's going to be sustainable for you, that totally makes sense. This is what I personally am going to do. Number 1, no ordering food, no eating out. Full stop. Number 2, no grocery shopping. I get a once a week delivery from Odd Bunch for $20 of fresh produce. It's actually helping to divert food waste. It's a really great program, but I'm going to do that. So I'll budget the $20. Once a week, I'll get fresh produce delivered. I'm not going to die of scurvy or something, but that's it. And then the number 3 thing that I'm allowed to do is I have a coupon for Cobb's Bread, this local bakery here. And I can still go to Cobb's Bread once a month. It's a coupon that you buy a loaf of bread, get a loaf of bread free every month. So I think I'm still going to allow myself to buy bread, because I am not going to learn how to bake bread. I am not in my sourdough era. I didn't learn how to make it in 2020. I'm not going to learn how to make it now. It is not my forte, at least not for the moment, at least not until I win the lottery and need a hobby. I'm not making my own bread. But those are my sort of 3 rules. And the overall theme is I need to use the stuff that I already have. I need to eat the stuff that's in the freezer. I need to eat my many dried beans. I have 3 giant jars of chana dal that are dried that I need to eat. I have lentils. I have tons of canned goods. So that is my plan. Eat up the stores that I have, and I will replenish afterwards to make sure that I have new emergency food that is, fresh and good and will keep me going for the next few years. Throughout the month, I'm also going to share recipes on here. If you've been following for Veganuary, I made a what I eat in a day video every single day for the month of January, and I shared it on Instagram and TikTok and here as a short. I'm going to be perfectly honest, that's a lot of work, and I don't know if I'm going to do every day in my life eating out of the pantry. Also, I don't know how exciting that would be for you. I mean, comment below if you really want me to do it, I'll do it, but I don't know that would be riveting. But I am going to share recipes, stuff that's really easy that you can cook from your freezer, or things that you can cook with canned goods, really good cheap staples. So if you're looking for ways to be more sustainable, if you're looking for ways to stretch your dollar a bit further and have some new recipes thrown in, please follow along, because I will be doing that for the whole month of February. I also really want to hear from you, so please leave me a comment below. Let me know if you're going to join in. I would love to see a lot of people take on this challenge if they're able to. I'd love to hear how you're making your meals more environmentally sustainable, more personally sustainable, and how you're saving money, because we all know that times are a little bit challenging right now, understatement. Also, I don't know if it's just going to be a month. I personally want to see how long I can go with this. I am going to give updates of how well it's going. I mean, maybe I'm biting off more than I can chew. I'm hoping to find out what my resilience level is. I want to find out how long I could make it if I really had to. If things start to get a little bit dicier, I want to know how. I want to have those recipes. I want to have those go-to, okay, it's dried beans time and rice. Let's see how we're doing. So it's like a personal test of resilience, just to make sure I'm future-proofing my life. And that is the February Pantry Challenge. I always forget to do this part. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. I am trying really hard to get to the first monetization tier. I need 500 subscribers. So please, please, please share this video, subscribe below. I would really appreciate it if you did. If you are going to do the Pantry Challenge, leave me a comment. I would love to hear about it. And if you want, check out some of my other videos. I'll do that thing where they link it into wherever. In January, I did a meaty vegan lasagna. That was really good. The lasagna, not the video. The video is fine, but the lasagna was great. And I also shared the best vegan cheeses in 2025 that I've been able to find in Canada. So go back and check those out. And I'll talk to you next time. Raincoast Vegan. Let's try. Try this.